Hi, welcome to Low Carb Spin. I'm Karen.
And I'm Therese. It's that time of year again. Are you craving Girl Scout cookies?
Well, I sure am. And today we have the cure with our low carb copycat version of a Thin Mint Bundt cake.
There's 3 steps to making this cake. The first step is we're going to make a sugar-free chocolate syrup. So I have my medium saucepan and we're going to use medium heat. And we're just going to start with our water. Then we're going to add some allulose. If it'll come out of the pan, of the bowl. There we go. And then we're going to use cocoa powder next. And a little pinch of salt. Going to whisk this all together just till it gets combined. Now that it's all combined, we're going to let it come to a boil without stirring for about 5 minutes. Just keep an eye so that you don't scorch the bottom. Our 5 minutes are up, and now we're going to remove our chocolate sauce from the heat and add our last ingredient. So we're just going to whisk in some vanilla.
Oh, that smells so chocolatey. I love it.
It does. It's thick. You can feel it.
And it will thicken as it cools too.
Mm-hmm.
It will be the perfect consistency.
On to our second part is the batter.
So we're going to start with some almond flour.
Thank you.
And we're really going to sift everything together as best we can. It's hard to sift almond flour. We're going to have some whey protein isolate. Just stir it on in, and we're going to do some baking powder, because these are the things we really want to be thoroughly combined.
No lumps.
And while that's sifting through, guess what we get to use?
Keto chow.
Keto chow. We're using some chocolate mint keto chow, and that's going to give us that great Girl Scout thin mint flavor. I'm just going to sprinkle this in.
I think we almost needed a bigger bowl.
Certainly the quickest way is use a whisk for getting it through the mesh.
So now we're going to set this aside and we're going to start creaming our butter. So we're going to add our butter, softened butter, to the mixer. And then our monk fruit sugar. And then we're just going to start whipping that up. So I would stop and scrape the sides down a few times in between to make sure it's off the bottom. So a good tip is taste a little of the batter, and if you still feel the grains on your tongue, then you need to whip it a little bit more. We need to whip.
Well, that looks good. Now let's add the eggs.
One at a time. And we'll add our next egg. Add our last egg.
That looks nice and creamy. We have the last ingredient, wet ingredient, would be the vanilla extract. While Teresa's doing that, I prepared our silicone bundt pan with some avocado oil, generously, wipe it around, and I also preheated the oven to 350 degrees. So now we're going to, can I have the spatula?
Yes, you may.
We're going to put in some sour cream and some of our yummy keto chow.
Yes, we had that sitting aside.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not putting it all at one time, just
I think we need
portioning it out.
to mix it up and then add a dollop of sour cream and then our dry ingredients till it's well blended. Now for our last addition of the sour cream. Ooh, yummy, yummy. And the last of our dry ingredients.
It turned a pretty green color too.
Let's scrape that down a bit. And the one thing that we're going to do, because we're making a marbled cake, is we're going to have to take about 1/4 to 1/3 of the batter, and we're going to put it in here. This is where we're going to add the chocolate. So this will become the chocolate part of the batter. And we're going to do one other thing to the minty part of the batter, I should say.
Just something about a swirl in a cake just gets me every time. All right, is that good enough?
I think so.
Okay.
You take that off and hang on.
The part I get to lick?
No, not yet.
Not yet. We're not done yet.
Let's see. There we go. Okay, we're going to get some of this batter out. I always have a hard time trying to figure out how much. But a couple of dollops will do you, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that mint smells so good.
Yeah, I really liking the keto chow, that's for sure. I think that's enough. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this goes
back
back in. Now, let's see. This is a little extra step. Now, if you don't have this and you don't want to purchase this, you can use mint extract or some of the like peppermint oils, and it's going to give you that same punch, but this is something that we grew up with, and so we're going to add some of the cream de mint. It has the color as well, and it's going to make this
It's just a little
batter
titch.
a little bit.
It's just a
A little bit better. The smell, this is what brings back memories when Mom used to make this cake.
Yeah.
Swirl that around. I forgot what I was going to say.
I think you want me to put a dollop into this bowl.
Yes, we need to put some of the batter in here, and there's a special reason why, and this is something we found out as we were doing it.
Trial and error.
Yes, with keto baking, and when you're using like allulose browns quicker. So since the allulose is in the yummy chocolate syrup that we made, it's not in the cake. We use the monk fruit in the cake. So what's going to happen is, no, that's fine. I think that's good.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is that when we bake the cake, the outer edge, which you'll see when we pipe it in, gets too dark because of the allulose. So we're going to save some of the batter that doesn't have allulose and smear it around the top, and hoping that that will keep the edge from getting that extra browning.
Kind of seals in all the allulose is on the inside, not on the side touching the bottom of the pans or the sides.
So now, if you would take the rest of that batter and put it in our pan here.
Okay.
Here, just give me this one, and I'm going to stick it into, this is going to be the new chocolate batter, but we're going to use the same bowl to mix it up really well.
It's pretty thick.
It is thick.
So it's not going to pour as easily as a regular.
Yeah, it's not.
Most cake batters are a little thicker. I mean, a
it's
little
almost,
thinner.
To me, it feels like almost cookie dough batter. And that's why when we add the chocolate syrup to the other mixture, this is going to loosen.
Looser, yeah.
And that's how we're going to be able to get in our swirl.
Am I getting it even?
We'll smooth it out afterwards.
Okay. That side looks lower.
It looks pretty smooth and even. So now, let's, again, transfer bowls.
Oh,
back
put this
in,
back into the big one.
that back into the big one. This is our last step. Don't let me get confused. I'll take the spatula because I am going to pour the chocolate syrup in. And the only reason why we're putting it back into the KitchenAid is because we really want the chocolate to be thoroughly combined. We could have just poured it in there and stirred it up, but this works better. All that yummy goodness. Why don't we scrape down the sides? The batter is all fully combined, nice and chocolatey, and we prepared a piping bag. You really want to put a tip on it. If you don't put the tip on it, you're not going to be able to make the swirls in the cake. So just pouring this in. All the batter in there. And I'm just going to twist it a little bit so it comes down to the bottom. Now that we have the piping bag filled, the easiest way to make our swirls is you're going to put the nozzle down in there, and when you squeeze the batter, you'll see that it lifts. And this is how you would like even out the cake, because at some point it was a little bit lower on one side and you could just fill it with the chocolate.
That'll be my piece. Extra chocolate.
So maybe just use a quarter of the batter instead of a third of the batter for your chocolate.
Unless you like more chocolate.
You can use a knife, you can use the spatula, and we're going to swirl this through to kind of get that marbling effect. And maybe tap it down a bit. And then this is where I ran into the trouble with the allulose because you have so much chocolate on the top. That's why we're going to add the last layer of the green batter, because that doesn't have the allulose in it. Haven't tried this, just hoping this works. So we're going to put it in a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes, and then we're going to reduce the temperature. This is at the 20-minute mark at 350. Now we're going to reduce the temperature to 325 and cook it an additional 35 minutes. I think she's ready. I have to check the good old-fashioned toothpick test here. Nice, looking good. Now all we're going to do is have to wait till this baby cools off.
Be sure to let this cake rest for about 15 minutes before flipping.
Good point. Now on to the third step in our recipe.
So let's get started with our chocolate glaze. Heavy cream, we're going to add it to our medium-sized saucepan. And we're going to put that on medium heat, just to let it simmer. Just give it a couple stirs. You just don't want the cream to scorch. So we're going to turn off the heat.
So first you're going to start off with chocolate.
Chocolate first. So I think the chips are melted, so we're just going to give it a quick little stir, and then we're going to add in our sugars. What are we adding in?
Confectioner swerve, and then also some allulose. And after that gets all stirred up in there and all the sweeteners get dissolved, we add some vanilla extract.
It's looking yummy.
Well, who doesn't love chocolate? This recipe is from Carolyn Ketchum from All Day I Dream About Food. This is her chocolate glaze recipe. We thought this would be just perfect. And let's add the vanilla.
Okay. Smells good. Well, it looks like it's cooled and it's gotten much thicker. So we're gonna, good tip would be to transfer it to something easier to pour onto your cake. And I think that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, that looks so yummy. Well, it looks great. This is the right consistency now. So how are we gonna do this?
How about a drizzle?
A drizzle?
You want me to move the plate?
Yes, why don't you do that? Look at this, slow motion, the perfect drizzle.
Yum.
Oh, I'm getting so hungry right now. I can concentrate on my drizzle.
One more?
I think
Going
so.
around again?
Well, it is chocolate. Let's see. I just want to get the perfect markings, the perfect like zebra markings.
It's looking delish if you ask me.
Where else are we thin?
Right here.
We're thin right
missed a
here.
little.
We can't be
Stingy.
stingy on the
Stingy.
chocolate. That's a family word.
I think
Wow.
that looks perfect.
I can't wait till we cut into this. But Carolyn says, just wait and let it set up a bit.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
I am so ready for this.
I think it turned out great.
Let's cut into this baby.
That glaze really makes it look special.
And it was hard to wait for it to to be
Set up.
ready.
I just love how super moist it is.
Let's see.
Got it?
Can't get it out. You know.
Have to do 2 pieces.
Wait, you always have to cut a piece on the other side. So this is going to be a tip for everybody else. Always cut a piece next to each other before you slide out the piece.
Perfect.
Now.
Oh, look at that. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's so perfect.
I love the swirl.
Okay, slice down.
There you go.
Okay, let's get a better look-see at that. Oh, I'm so excited now.
Yes.
One for me too.
Beautiful.
Yay! I'm ready. Girl Scout yumminess, here I come. Okay. So thin, minty.
I definitely taste the mint. It's
Me
really simple to make. Couple little steps, and I don't think people could tell this is not just from a regular bakery.
There you go. Well, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.